I want to share with you a story about a woman that I remember from at least 40 years ago. I was very new in the Lord. I didn't know any scripture. I had just started going back to church. And so I went to this lovely conference where there was a woman whose name is Myrna White. I'm not sure if Myrna is still alive, but God used her greatly in my life, and here's how he used her. I had gone into the beauty industry when I was very young. I worked for Estee Lauder, Elizabeth Arden at the Red Door Salon in Washington, D.C. After that, Mary Kay Cosmetics. I was just wrapped up in the beauty world. And so my idea of beauty, as I've already said, was everything that has to do with the external part of a person. And but I was at this conference, and I couldn't take my eyes off this Myrna White. She was dressed in a beautiful scarlet red dress. Her nails were painted red. She had a beautiful long opera-length, sparkly, silvery colored necklace on. She just sparkled. And so at the break, I mustered up my courage and went up to her and asked her if I might ask her a couple of questions, maybe after the event was over. And she said, well, why don't you sit with me at lunch and you can ask me your questions then? And I was just astonished. She was going to let me sit next to her at lunch. Everybody wanted to sit next to her at lunch. So I did get to sit next to Myrna at lunch. And I just had a burning question in my mind. And I had just read recently in that week, actually, the scripture that I talked about earlier, 1 Peter 3, that your adornment should not come from the plaiting of hair, which of course is braiding the hair, wearing of gold, putting on fine clothing, that sort of thing. And I had given away a lot of my beautiful things. I thought it was the godly thing to do, get rid of my sparkly jewelry. I got rid of all my hats. You know, when we were young, our hats used to match our shoes, and all the purse, everything had to match. Well, I just felt that was very worldly, and I gave it away, I think to Goodwill or something. So anyway, I'm sitting next to Myrna, and I said, Myrna, please don't take this the wrong way. I said, but I just have a burning question. And I said, you're up there, you look so beautiful, you've got that dress, you've got that jewelry, you've got those nails. And I said, but I thought 1 Peter said that not to let our outward adornment come from those things. And she turned to me with all sincerity. I'll never forget it. And she was so kind. And she said, Angela, dear, I was 40 years younger at least. She said, Angela, dear, the scripture doesn't say not to wear those things, but it says, do not let your outward adornment come merely from these things. That word merely, M-E-R-E-L-Y, is very key to that scripture. And in other words, yes, you can wear those things, but don't bank on the fact that these things are going to make you beautiful. They're not. They're outward adornments, but don't let that be merely what you're doing. Let it be the hidden person of the heart. Develop that hidden person of the heart. Well, I have goosebumps as I think about it, because it really did set me straight. And of course, I realized I gave away my hats and my sparkly jewelry for nothing. But that was Myrna White, and it was a very important lesson in my life. And so 1 Peter 3:3-4, it's very special to me.
I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining.